Mr. Olympia. You can take it too.
In the city that never sleeps, Jay Cutler is no stranger to the laws of the land. It is Monday, September 11th. Preparing for an opportunity to maintain his crown, Jay rises early to begin the typical day of a champion.
I know what goals I want to accomplish. So every day when I wake up, I look around, I have achieved so much. I look at myself in the mirror, I'm very happy with the results, but I still want more. I realize my physique still isn't tapped out to the point where I feel I can become better. I can become a better champion. That's what drives me. I'm training for Mr. Olympia year-round. It's not just a time frame where it's like, okay, you know, I don't need to think about the show until this date. And of course, 4 months leading from the competition is when I start what I call the pre-contest phase, where I have to actually start tuning my body into being in the best shape possible. But at that time, the mental focus has to become a lot more. But there's not one day that I wake up, even now, that I don't wake up and look at myself in the mirror and say, am I ready to step it up to the next level? It takes a lot of mental preparation. I think really that's what separates a champion from just someone that's doing it for a task. And the body's a unique thing where, I mean, it adapts to certain situations, and you can overtrain it very easy, but I always found that you cannot overtrain the body if you are eating enough. If you're under-eating, that's the only way you'll overtrain the body.
And to enable efficient intake, each ingredient is weighed, diced, and sautéed. These dishes are far from his list of favorites, but for the past 4 months, indulgence has not been an option.
So we did 2/3 cup. Breakfast of champions.
I eat through the night. I give my body sufficient nutrients all the time, so my workload becomes a little more and I can handle it. And I think that's really been the best success solution for me, is just doing as much as possible pretty much around the clock, treating it like a 24/7 thing.
Because it all goes in the same and it all comes out the same.
He eats the same stuff. He eats the same stuff all the time. He really does. I mean, he may put a couple of different condiments on things, but he basically eats the same stuff. Even when he's dieting or not dieting, just eats. But more, you know, he'll go from rice to pastas, and pastas will put a little more weight on.
My dogs are part of my sanctuary, I would say. Because when I come home, and the days I spend here by myself, Kerry works all day, And like I said, I like to spend a lot of alone time. I'm a very loner type person. So when I sit with my dogs and I talk to my dogs through the day and they look at me like they understand, that's relief for me. The dogs definitely give me a little relaxation. I love having the pets. I've always loved having dogs. I've had dogs for a long time. Trace is the oldest Airedale. He's about 6 years old, and he's the biggest. Very, very smart, very keen. Loves to play ball. Always carries around his cuz ball. Even brings it to bed with him. He's always ready to go play fetch anytime. And then you got Bodie, who's the middle child. He's the other Airedale, but a rare black breed, so he's the problem child. He's the one that gets into everything. He chews everything in the house. He gets into the food. He eats anything. He eats socks. He eats Carrie's underwear. And we've had to bring him to the vet a couple times to have his stomach cleaned out because he swallows too many things. So he's a very, very good dog. Likes to harass people when they come over, but he's very loving at the same time. And when he settles down at night, he's probably one of the most loving dogs. So, and then Scrappy. Scrappy is the oldest. Like I said, Scrappy's a Cocker Spaniel Poodle mix, so he's a cockapoo. Of course, Scrappy stays underneath to make sure in case I drop something, he gets to pick it up. I got Scrappy when we actually went to go get a puppy at the kennel, and we walked into the kennel and I saw Scrappy in there in a cage, and someone had brought Scrappy back because he was a handful. And Carrie was disappointed because she wanted a puppy at the time, and Scrappy was probably 6 months or 8 months old at the time, and I said, that's the dog I want. And he was such a mess, I called him Scrappy because his hair was all over the place. And Scrappy came to live with us. He tore apart the whole house in the first night he was with us. And I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but he became probably my best friend, and I've traveled everywhere with Scrappy. He's been in Massachusetts with us. We brought him to California when we moved there. We moved to Vegas. He came with us. He's traveled everywhere with us, and he travels with me on a lot of road trips because he's probably the most calm one. And like I said, he doesn't leave my side, and he's definitely probably one of my favorites out of the three.
Loved ones at home are merely a few who keep Jay motivated. A day does not pass where he fails to respond to others who support him. Every day he sends off merchandise sold from his website and letters to fans all across the world. With their support, Jay has been able to develop a multi-million-dollar empire, making him the sport's greatest ambassador.
Yeah, every day I usually leave the house at the same time. Every day it's the same food for the first 2 meals. A lot of times just different portions. But I train all over the place. I train at every gym, every Gold's in Vegas. So yeah, I mean, you're supposed to be a member, but I mean, they take good care of me there. So when I moved to Vegas I moved to train mainly for the title, but in 2002 I moved to Vegas, but I came here, you know, for the real estate market, but also to train for the title because the gyms seemed to be the best for you know, for training 24 hours a day, and that's, with me, it's a 24-hour day thing, so that's why I think Vegas is the ideal spot for me. Yeah, I probably should I just leave this stuff?
Sure, you can.
He knows the names of others just as well as they know his.
Okay, you got it.
There is no aura of celebrity, only the authenticity of familiarity.
See you, Jake.
With the Mr. Olympia competition 2 weeks and 1 day away, each daily activity must be full of purpose and precision.